Today, the FTC started hearings on competition and consumer protection, questioning whether Google, along with Facebook and Amazon, are monopolies. And this comes amid reports that Attorney General Sessions is prepping an investigation into social media companies for censorship. A leaked video from Google could fuel allegations that the internet giants are biased against conservatives. Breitbart posting a video from a Google meeting after the 2016 election in which the top executives shared their disappointment over President Trump's victory.
Myself, as an immigrant and a refugee, I certainly find this election deeply offensive, and I know many of you do too. And I think it's a very stressful time, and it conflicts with many of our values.
Google CEO Sundar Pichai saying, quote, "I think all of us would agree this election was particularly hard." Google responding to Breitbart posting this video saying, quote, "For over 20 years, everyone at Google has been able to freely express their opinions at these meetings. Nothing was said at that meeting or any other meeting to suggest that any political bias ever influences the way we build or operate our products." But Google's C-suite is facing growing scrutiny, especially after declining the Senate's invitation to testify last week. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy tweeting, "It's time for Congress to make sure Google lives up to its old motto, don't be evil, #stop the bias." We'll see who Congress calls to testify and how Google responds. Melissa?
All right, Julia, thank you. Julia Boorstin in Los Angeles. Karen's still on Facebook. But how, or how concerned are you at this point?
I mean, I'm sort of concerned. In some part, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, they're not having hearings about Fox, the Fox Corporation, with videos of them saying, wow, we're delighted that Trump won, and that they're either biased or they're not biased, in which case, why should they say anything about Google or Twitter or anyone else? Putting that sort of show aside, most pressing right now is that September 25th, we'll hear the attorneys general brief Jeff Sessions on, I don't even know exactly what it is, to tell you the truth, what exactly they want to do. Beside, they don't like Google, the PR of it is bad. Let's say that they want to do something, they feel like we have to do something. I think this DOJ has kind of lost credibility already. Let's remember what happened at AT&T Time Warner. That seemed to be a politically motivated sort of case, right? Mm-hmm. And they lost badly. Now, that could play either way. We don't care if politically motivated or not, we'll do it anyway. So I don't love that. But I think we are a long way from a Attorney General briefing to a big suit, a Microsoft-type suit against Google and others. That could happen, though. The other thing, though, is there are competitive. It's ironic that Microsoft, Bing, for example, are they one of the ones being hurt here? Is that part of the problem? I mean, if that's part of what they're doing.
You're talking specifically about antitrust issues here.
Yes, I think.
But in terms of just the bias issue and whether or not algorithms are biased or not.
Well, here's the thing, though. Let's say they are. They're not allowed to have an opinion.
Algorithms?
Right? Are they not? Or is this company not allowed to have an opinion?
No, there's an issue. It comes down to monopoly. I mean, so that's it. They have 90% of search. So that's why the Justice Department can have a thing. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think you should poo-poo this. And I know you guys don't like to poo-poo anything. But listen, Jeff Sessions is out in a couple of months. Who do you think they're going to replace? Who do you think is going to be at the top?
They might be distracted with other things,
no,
right?
well, I'm just saying it's going to be somebody much more in line with what conservatives and the president think.
Let me just finish. If this is something that ends up in a fine, that I think would actually not be bad at all for Google. They could easily digest that. The other thing is we talked about GDPR, right, for a long time. And in fact, after that happened, Google went up a lot. I think we've already seen, I think it's about $35 billion of cloud right now hanging over Alphabet from all of this circus in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Right. Isn't there another concern, though, that there could be regulation?
Of course. Yeah.
Regarding what Google will do that could constrain.
That would be the result of
GDPR. But separate from a DOJ investigation, separate from
that would be the result of a DOJ investigation. Well, all right.
No, it could be. It doesn't have to be the result of a DOJ investigation. Okay. It could just be the Senate or the House or the House holding hearings about whether or not this algorithm is biased or not.
Of course. And again, I'm long Google, so I like Google, Karen. I think it's a reasonably valued company. But you can't tell me more regulations not coming. You also can't tell me that who's more at risk? A company whose value is all in an algorithm where you could be forced to change that algorithm or change it dramatically. That's their core asset. So
if you're long, then you're saying, all right, I understand there's a risk, which I do too. I'm willing to accept that risk for the power of this business, the price of this business, how much cash they have, what other levers they have.
Yes. So yes, I'm still long, and I'm not going to sell tomorrow. But what I want to highlight is an issue that I don't think investors are thinking about. I think this is an issue for how we need to look at companies whose core assets are in the internet. It's the same argument I'm having about Facebook, by the way, and I'm going to keep having it because I think these companies are all at risk, and I think you have a dynamic here with more regulation. The EU just passed rules today that could force Google and Facebook to have issues on copyright and uploading content that's copyrighted to the internet. Europe's leading the way. They continue to lead the way, and this is an issue.